Den dag kjem aldri at eg det gleimer, foran meg søver.
The water's cold.
It's a fjord. You're not going swimming.
Boo. You're such a wet blanket, teddy bear.
You know I don't like it when you call me...
Edward Charles Hardin, Esquire.
Will you promise to behave on land?
Don't I always?
Lissy, promise.
Oh, piffle and phonus balonus, Teddy. You ought to know better than to ask. Yes, I'll behave. I'll be a proper young lady. I shan't run or climb things or laugh too loud or call anyone old bean. Aside from you. So, do you think we'll find your Betty in... what did you call this village? Gravewick? Grovewick? Greywick? It's an odd language. I don't much care for it. Perhaps Betty found herself a burly Viking...
She's there.
How can you know for sure?
She's my sister.
But how can you know?
I just do. In her letter, she wrote about...
But that's months ago. She could have gone anywhere.
Without writing, or telegraphing her editor in New York, she wouldn't do that. Betty's...
Oh, the cat's pajamas, the bee's knees, Little Miss Perfect.
Alice, you're talking about my sister.
Fine. I'm sorry. Elizabeth Sidarb. We all love her dearly. And Teddy Bear. Edward. We will find her. Betty's fine. Why, we'll see her as soon as we get to shore. She'll shower you with kisses and berate you for coming all this way from Hanover, Massachusetts to the middle of positively nowhere Scandinavia way just to chase her down. Everything will be Jake, old fruit. Is that it? Is that Groovewoke? It looks so peaceful and beautiful and so desolate. Like a place built for ghosts.
Finally. I don't think I could do this for much longer.
Can't you row any faster? I'm getting frightfully bored.
How about you take over, Alice?
You slay me, Teddy, old bean. Was that thunder?
Still distant. The boat will be in safe harbor by the time the weather arrives.
So you say. But I say put your back into it, because we're sitting ducks out here. Quack, quack. It's so quiet. Where is everyone?
Probably working. I know it's a foreign concept to you, but that's something normal people do.
Hardy har har.
The Fretland farm is up the hill somewhere.
Up where?
I believe it's that farmhouse, all the way at the top.
Hot dog! Let's ankle!
Hold on. Let me read the letter from Mrs. Fretland first.
I'll meet you up there, old sport. I want to explore. Last one's a skunk's tail.
Be careful. The ground's muddy. You could slip and fall.
I'll see you in 2 shakes.
Dear Mr. Hardin, we would like to extend an invitation to visit our home. Troubled to hear of your sister's disappearance. No news to share. You'll find our farm on top of the hill. I hope I got that right. Look forward to seeing you here in October. Yours faithfully, Anna Fretland. Well, I'm here. Where are you? Did you make it to Grovik, Betty? And why did you pick this forlorn hole under the mountains? Also sprach Zarathustra.
Teddy, are you coming? I'm almost there.
On my way. Righto. Step to it, teddy bear. Where are you?
I'm waiting for you at the farm. Teddy, this way.
What took you so long?
I'm not 17.
Nor are you 70. Put some spring into your step, old sport.
Did you see the flag? It's at half-mast. Someone died.
So this is it, huh? Nice digs. But seriously, where is everyone? This is starting to creep me out. They must be somewhere. They can't all have vanished.
Up in the mountains, maybe.
Herding goats? Are they goat herders? I took them more for fisher folk.
The rain's picking up. We should get indoors.
You first, old bean.
Hello? Anyone there? Mr. Fretland? Mrs. Fretland? This is Edward Charles Harden, the American. We've exchanged letters.
Maybe they went on holiday and left the door open. Give it a shake and a rattle.
I can't just barge into their home.
It's not a crime if you're invited.
I'm coming in. This is Mr. Harden. Hello? Is anyone home?
This house is as empty as a bird's nest in December. Hey, you want to check out the upstairs? Oh, this is nice. Charmingly rustic. The Boston Beaumont would pay a pretty penny for this setup. I thought foreigners lived differently. This is almost like an American home.
People are people wherever you go.
Thanks, Proust.
There's the Stave Church.
Do you think that's where they've all gone? Maybe there's a very popular funeral.
The flag was at half-mast, but no sign of life out there.
Look! Family pictures. They must be the, what did you call them? It's on the tip of my tongue.
The Fretlands.
Right. Anna and John?
Johann.
This is honestly not what I'd pictured. They're very presentable. Not at all like turnip farmers.
They're not turnip farmers. That must be Johann Fretland, master of the house.
What makes you think he's the master of anything? It's 1923, Teddy, old boy. Women can vote.
Betty might be with the Fretlands, wherever they are.
Wouldn't Anna Fretland have written you?
She might have. We left Hanover a month ago.
Old Johann's a bit wooden, isn't he? Like someone put a stick
They're
up his...
posing for a
up his
photograph.
rear end. I say, loosen up, Johann! I'm sure you two stiffs will get along famously. Wait, is that... Are they... Who's... They're all twins. All of them.
That's Johann and Anna Fretland.
There are two of each, Edward. Two of each.
Frederick and Margaret. Twins marrying twins.
My mind's reeling. This is just too adorable.
May 26th, 1899. They'll be celebrating their silver anniversary next year. Dear Mrs. Fretland, I trust this letter finds you and your husband in good health. I wrote to inform them about when I'd be arriving. So where are they?
Do they even have calendars? Maybe they don't know what day it is.
Despite appearances, we haven't gone back in time. They have calendars. I asked about Elizabeth.
And they hadn't seen her?
Anna, Mrs. Fretland, promised she'd write if she heard anything. There wouldn't be many female reporters from New York and Western Norway.
Why would she come here in the first place?
Betty always has her reasons. Home feels very far away.
Are we feeling melancholy again?
I've never been this far from Hanover.
It's about time we got you out of that dreary old house, Teddy Bear.
Home feels very far away.
Are we feeling melancholy again?
I've never been this far from Hanover.
It's about time we got you out of that dreary old house, Teddy Bear.
The thought of boarding that infernal ocean liner again.
I quite enjoyed it. So much room for exploration and mischief.
So many opportunities for seasickness and claustrophobia.
Don't be a Debbie Downer. I'm sure your tummy will be better behaved on the return voyage. And you'll be craving enclosed spaces after a week in this wide-open wilderness. Where do you think they've gone?
The Fretlands.
The Fretlands, the Hansons, the Jensens, all of them.
I'm sure they'll be back soon. You can see the whole village from up here.
Do you want to go sightseeing?
Tomorrow. It's getting late, and the rain's not abating. It's really coming down.
How about a quick run in the rain?
You can't be serious.
You're already a wet blanket, Teddy Bear. It's not like you'll get any wetter. I'm guessing their daughter is the master of this house. She's cute as a button. I can't wait to meet her. She's guaranteed to be more fun than you. Johann went and found himself a delectable bride.
Alice, please.
What can I say? She's a minx.
Anna Fretland is a respectable woman. Her letter was courteous and professional.
Didn't you say she was a city girl? Must have been awfully hard to adjust to life in the sticks. I can relate.
Hanover isn't the sticks.
Says you. What are you looking at there?
A book.
Strange place for a book. Unless it was a terrible book that deserved a good burning. What's the title?
The cover's charred. Christmas 1922. To Ruth, from Simon. Why would someone burn this?
Like I said, maybe it was a terrible book. Is Simon one of the Freddylanders?
I don't think so. They only have the one daughter.
Did you hear something?
No.
Must be the wind under the door. Or the churning sea. Or the interminable rain. Or flesh-eating ghouls waiting to pounce.
Alice, honestly.
You're the one who reads Poe to me. Don't blame me for having an active imagination. Well, those boys look proud as peacocks. What does it say there? Groovy?
Gruben, the mine.
Maybe that's where everyone is. Digging for precious jewels in the Stygian abyss.
From what I learned of this place during the brief stay in Olesund, the iron mine shut down 20 years ago. The mine was only in operation until 1902. They must have lost a fortune. An iron mine wouldn't pay itself off in 5 years.
Can we go spelunking? Perhaps we'll find trolls in the abyss, and we can steal their ill-gotten gold.
There was a cave-in. It'll be unsafe.
Oh, boo.
Frederick and Johann Fretland, founders of the Fretland Brothers Mining Company.
They're the spitting image of each other.
Twin brothers and business partners.
And they married twin sisters. Adorable. Who's the boy? He looks related to the other two.
Foreign investors out of Frederick Fretland's mining company. Dire financial consequences for Fretland, who must have had a difficult time after his brother Johann Fretland pulled out earlier this year. The timing is curious, like he knew something was about to go awry. Johann Fretland exits Fretland Brothers Mining Company.
So the brothers parted ways?
Johann sold his share to focus on farming.
That must have put a damper on their relationship.
Tragic accident befalls the Fretland Brothers Mining Company.
What happened?
The mine collapsed, killing 3 workers, including Arne Fretland, Frederick and Johann's younger brother.
That's awful. How old was he?
19.
He might be the boy in the photograph.
Operations were suspended after the accident.
Oof, that's a grim sight, old bean.
I'm exhausted and soaked to the bone.
Let's get you to bed.
We'll wait for the Fretlands. It's only courteous. Betty.
Have you gone screwy again, Teddy? That's not Betty. That's...
Scarf. I'd know it anywhere.
It doesn't look like anything to me. It
She
just
bought it
looks
in
like...
Bloomingdale's the Christmas before last. When she came home that year, she showed it off, dancing around the sitting room until I got dizzy watching her.
I think you're misremembering. She couldn't make it home that year. Again.
No, You're wrong. I'm sure she was there.
Whatever. It's not like you pay any attention to me when Betty's around. I might just as well be a ghost.
Look, it is her scarf. It even smells like her perfume. Shalimar.
But what if that's not...
She's here. I'm finally going to find her.
That's great, Edward, really. I wouldn't want you to get your hopes up. I mean, where's everyone gone to? Something's not right, I'm telling you. Teddy? Edward, what's wrong?
Lightheaded, that's all.
You're having another spell. You know what happens when you exert yourself. Sit down. That's an order from your commander.
I just need to catch my breath. Just for a moment.
I want you to lie down. Lie down and close your eyes. It's been a strenuous day. What with the rowing and the dragging of the suitcase up the hill.
Well, what if the Fretlin...
I'll keep an eye out. I promise. If they come home, I'll wake you. Now, lie down, close your eyes, breathe deeply.
I'm just going to...
Shh.
Elizabeth? Is that you? Betty? Lissy? Lissy, are you here? Where are you? Lissy? Hello? Hey, who's there? Betty? Elizabeth? Wait! Lissy, there's someone outside. It might be Betty. Are you here, Lissy? Are you in here, Lissy? Lissy, are you upstairs? Who's out there? Hello? Betty? Lissy? I can hear you! Betty? Who goes there? Wait! Alice! Someone there? Alice, where are you? Hello? Betty, is that you? Are you there, Betty? Shit.
Elizabeth, are you there?
The boat, Edward! Where's our boat?
Lizzie! Where did you go? Why did you leave me?
It stopped raining, and you were sleeping, and... Our boat, it's gone.
The boat... What? How?
Maybe you didn't secure it properly.
I pulled it up. I don't know. I thought I tied it securely, but... Did you see Betty?
Did I see... What are you talking about?
I think... Betty... It was Betty. It was her. It must have been her. I saw her face in the window, and she vanished into the dark towards the sea. You really didn't see anyone?
I haven't seen a single soul. Are you sure it was her and
Yes.
not...
I mean, I saw her face, and it looked like her.
Well, if it was her, why did she run away?
I don't know. It's getting dark. Back to the house. And tomorrow...
Tomorrow's another day, Teddy Bear. We'll figure it out. Right now, let's get you cleaned up. Look at you. You've got mud all over yourself. And then you really need to sleep. You must be exhausted. Come on.
I will find you again.
Teddy, come outside. It's a beautiful day.
I just about given up on you ever waking up. Sleep well?
I dreamed of Betty. She was in the garden, and she called for me.
How about you, Lissy dearest? Oh, you know me, old fruit, wide awake at first light.
The Fretlands didn't come home, did they?
They did not. There's no sign of anyone. Aside from last night's Mistwalker.
I've been thinking about that.
What?
It looked like Betty. I was so sure. She wouldn't have run away. It makes no sense. Perhaps it was no one. Just the night playing tricks.
Well, there must be someone here. And I'm not talking about ghosts. Or goats. What was it you said yesterday? Maybe they're looking down on us from the mountaintops.
I'll take a gander. The Fretlands will be home soon. And Betty's here. I know it. I feel it.
If you say so, Teddy Bear. Have you had your noodle juice yet?
I'm not rummaging through their cupboards.
You'll be a pill without your tea and toast, old bean. We need to get you sorted.
I'm not hungry. First point on the agenda. Find the natives.
A mission! Hot dog! I'll scout ahead. I'll meet you down by those houses.
Let's uncover your secrets, Grovik.
Up here, Teddy. It's such a beautiful day. You could bottle and sell this air in Boston. It's frankly medicinal.
It's chilly.
That's all you have to say? It's chilly?
You're not cold.
Why would I be?
I thought you were scouting ahead.
What do you think I'm doing? Vantage point, like on a pirate ship. I can probably see our house in Hanover from here.
Did you check those buildings?
Knocking on doors isn't a scout's job, old bean.
There must be someone around.
Only one way to find out, old sport. Did you check all the houses?
Hello? Anyone here?
Why, hello, Mr. American. Please come in for a cup of tea and biscuits.
You're not helping. Also, they drink coffee here, not tea.
Savages. No one home?
Hello? Who's there? Hello? Anyone home? Lissy.
What is it?
September 21st, 1923. Vi desperata. Lissy, found something here. Escalated from words to stones. Blood has been spilled. The curse haunts us all. There is no hope left in... Good Sforlata. Good. God. Right.
in this god-forsaken place. The death of the Jiminy, death of the children, was the end of Grovik. Whatever remained of our souls departed with them.
You should see this, Lissy.
The letter just trails off. It was never sent. Did you see this door closing?
It was just the wind, Teddy Bear. You're as skittish as a pussycat. There's one more house. Third time's the charm.
There must be someone around.
Only one way to find out, old sport. Did you check all the houses?
Anyone home?
Unless they're playing hide and go seek, I'd say that's a no. Three strikes, you're out.
I don't think anyone's been home for a while. Someone painted the word traitor on one of the doors. And there was a letter. It sounded foreboding.
Still think everyone's up in the mountains, herding goats?
Where would Betty go if she was here right now?
I'm sure she'd go for soda pop. Do you think they'll have cola at the general store?
Doubtful.
Boo.
Betty likes exploring new places. She'd have done the same here. And she'd have left some trace of where she'd gone. I just need to put myself in her mind. See this place through her eyes.
Well, it's a bright and beautiful day. And we have nothing better to do.
What on earth are you doing?
Handstands, Teddy! My record is 2 minutes. I'm working on 3. Just go on ahead. I'll catch up.
July 24th. Memorial service. A commemoration of the accident at the mine this past summer. No services after that.
All these graves. What happened?
It's a cemetery.
But look at the soil. These are recent burials.
You're right.
Do you think this is where everyone's gone? Are they all dead?
How many graves are there?
Not enough, I guess. How many people lived here?
I'm not sure. Also, someone must have buried them.
There's that.
Something did happen. Several people died in a short period of time.
How? An accident? A mass murder? Spanish flu?
I wouldn't want to speculate until I've learned more.
I can speculate for the both of us.
Well, Betty's not here. I'm gonna keep looking.
What about the church?
Why would they board up a church?
To keep the ghosts from escaping? What does that say?
God is not here.
Well, so much for that. No wedding, no baptism, no funeral.
There must be people somewhere. Where are you going?
For constitutional. To breathe some of this salty sea air. You go on ahead. I'll find you. about we don't go back to Hanover and stay here instead?
And how would I survive?
Hunt? Harvest? Forage? People have survived here for centuries. Why can't we?
I wouldn't even know where to begin.
I could learn. I'd start with goats. Goats can be eaten and milked. Probably not in that order.
Fretland and Son.
How do you figure?
It's on the sign above the entrance. And on this photograph. Frederick and Simon Fretland. Simon Fretland. Frederick's son.
And Johann's nephew. See, I'm getting the hang of this. Simon. Simon. That was the name in the burnt book. So Simon is Ruth's older cousin.
The older gentleman is clearly Mr. Fretland's twin brother.
Twins are confusing. If this was a dime novel, they'd be switching places at some point to confuse the coppers. Damn you, twins!
They had a memorial service for the accident in the mine. On July 24th, in the village church.
For something that happened 20 years ago?
It still affected their lives.
Frederick Fretland and Son.
Johann's brother and nephew.
The Fretlands have their fingers in all the pies, including the only store in town.
Also the post office and telegraph. There may be something that'll lead us to Betty in there.
Or at least to some canned sardines. We need to get you fed, old bean.
Applesauce.
Why lock any doors? I can't imagine they have a problem with punks and hoodlums.
The sign says they're closed, but I thought maybe... Hello? Are you open? Is anyone there?
Can't you just bust down the door? Locks be damned.
Breaking and entering, I will not. I'll just dislocate my shoulder.
There's no damage to the rope.
I don't know what that means.
Nobody cut it. I guess the knot could have unraveled on its own.
Didn't you say you used a sailor's knot?
I'm a scholar, not a fisherman.
So who took our boat? A ghost?
There must be a logical explanation. It's safe to say no ghost in the night stole our boat.
If you say so. But then who were you chasing after last night? You thought it was Betty,
No.
but...
No, I don't know. It was probably all in my head. Betty would have taken plenty of constitutionals here. She loves the outdoors.
How so? She's a city girl.
I'm sure she gets tired of Manhattan. And when she was little, she loved playing in the garden back in Hanover, especially around the pond.
Are you all right?
I just miss her.
A boat! Teddy! A hot dog! This is our ticket out of here!
Not without Betty. You'd have thought someone would have seen us by now.
Even from up in the mountains.
Besides, there's a hole in this boat. It'll sink before it gets 10 yards from shore. It's curious. The state of the boats. It's like they stopped taking care of them.
Seems short-sighted. How would they fish? Or get anywhere at all?
The weather's favorable today.
I did a little dance last night, appeasing the weather gods. Thor, in particular, was mightily impressed.
Was he?
Promised to back off with the thunder and lightning for a spell. And don't you know, he proposed to me. But I told him I'm not into gods. I prefer jazz musicians. What's this?
Remnants of the mining operation.
What, mine?
Remember, I told you yesterday. There was a mine here, but it closed down 20 years ago.
I know, Edward. I was just checking for a sense of humor. Still nowhere to be found.
It's quite peaceful.
If no one was around, I'd strip naked. The earth would delight in my bare feet. The wind would savor playing with my hair.
Is that so?
I don't know, I just like being naked. But not when you're around, Teddy Bear. Where do these tracks lead?
To the mine. Where else would they go?
I don't know. A castle up in the mountains, where the frost giants live. And this is how they receive their monthly offering of meat from the villagers. Goat, I hope. What did they use this for?
Bringing the ore down from the mine before it was loaded onto boats.
So, diamonds? Gold? Or just boring old silver?
Iron ore.
Or what?
Rock, which contains iron
I know,
deposits that...
Okay, Edward. I don't understand why they just leave this here. Like an altar to adversity. It's creepy.
Rustic superstition. Perhaps they believed they'd attract bad luck if they moved it. Til minne om. It's a memorial. 3 men died when the mine collapsed in 1902. Georg Hatlestad, Niels Framberg, Arne Fretland.
See, this is what working a regular job. Did you say Fretland?
The younger brother who was mentioned in the article. He was just 19.
How long had he been working in the mine? That's too young for a dirty job like digging into rock.
We're in the real world, Lissy. Most teeners don't have the luxury to idle away their days with games and witty repartee.
Ouch.
The newspaper said the accident forced the mine to shut down.
What does any of this have to do with us?
I still don't know why Elizabeth came here.
And you think it has something to do with this mine?
Or with what it did to the village. Maybe. No trespassing for traitors.
Cool. Want to jump the gate and explore what's on the other side? What do you say?
The sign says no trespassing for a reason.
Come on! There may be trolls, or at least more houses. Where's your sense of adventure, old sport? Don't you want to see where these tracks go?
They lead to the old mine, and no. I've had enough adventure on this side of the fence. Besides, they wrote no trespassing for a reason.
You're such a terrible bore, Teddy Bear. I'll wager 1,000 clams you'll jump this gate at some point, if you believe Betty's on the other side.
Frederick Fretland. Who are these traitors he refers to?
What now? We've looked everywhere.
There really doesn't seem to be anyone around.
Maybe we missed something. An important clue. How about the general store? We haven't been inside yet.
It looked deserted, but worth another look, I guess. Is that? Lizzie, come here. It's Betty's hat. She was here. She could still be in there. Betty? Betty!
Are you sure, Edward? I mean, it's just a hat. Is it even a hat? I'm not
I know
sure.
my sister's hat, Lizzie. I have to get inside.
What about the breaking and entering part?
I could care less what they call it. Here's an open window.
You seem eager to break the law. I approve.
It won't budge.
Nah, don't be a milquetoast.
Well, it's stuck.
Attaboy, Teddy. You can do this.
I can't believe I'm actually breaking... Whoops, Daisy.
Oh my, Teddy. You're such a sap.
Edward Charles Harding.
Dilettante, world traveler, cat burglar.
A cat burglar would, by definition, enter a building on a higher
Jeez.
floor.
The state of this place.
Oh, Betty.
Edward,
I hope you weren't here when...
is this... blood?
Not necessarily human blood.
Well, that's all right then. What does it say? Barn murder? Someone murdered a barn?
Barn means child. And mortar, that's...
Child murderer. Edward, they murdered a child?
Someone thought so.
Probably the same someone who vandalized the store.
I'm not sure how I feel about being in here.
Don't be ridiculous. We're all alone. What else do you suggest we do?
Damnation. The hat's in here.
Calm down, old boy. Anyway, how's a hat going to help us?
Who knows what else is in here? There could be more clues.
All right. Okay.
It's the same photograph as in the farmhouse,
Johan's gone. At least, I assume he's the one who's been... snip.
Frederick clearly did not want anything to do with his twin brother.
All right. Okay. Everything's Jake. We made it into the store. I'm sure we'll find a way through that door. What are you doing?
Looking for keys.
Your life of crime continues.
There's a note.
Is it written in Viking runes? What does it say?
It's from Simon. Casa. I don't know what that word means. Yai put it means I put. Nurkel is key.
He put the key in the casa?
Casa. I wish I had my dictionary. The note's addressed to his father.
So the key was moved. But where to?
Somewhere safer. Or more convenient.
Can we really trust your translations? You only started studying a month ago.
I spent the summer reading, and I had a lot of free time on the ocean voyage.
Come on, how much could you possibly pick up in a few months?
You know my mind, it's a sponge. These were never sent.
How long have they been piling up?
I received Mrs. Fretland's letter in June, and they received my letter from July.
A couple of months. Perhaps the world forgot about Grovik.
Out of order.
Why hasn't it been fixed?
Perhaps there wasn't much demand for it anymore.
S-O-S. Oh boy. If only this thing worked. We could order a boat to come get us. Or...
Casa.
So that's what it means. Cash register. You're a genuine gangster now, old fruit. Don't worry. If you get busted, I'll come visit you in the big house. Wasn't there supposed to be a key?
Here it is. Why would Frederick keep a list of what he calls traitors?
What did they do to him?
Cross him in some way. Why else keep a list of undesirables? It is her hat.
Teddy, I'm not
Betty
sure
was
that's...
here, and not long ago.
Okay, but if that is her hat, what's it doing in a locked storeroom?
Another breadcrumb.
That's not an answer.
I know for sure she was here. That's what matters.
You know best, Edward. So, what now? If this is a breadcrumb, where's the next one?
There must be a reason her hat's in this room.
What's that?
A handwritten note.
I'm not blind. What does it say, you silly goose?
It's hard to read. I'm not sure my translation will be... Johann, you... Nectar. Refuse. You refuse to speak to me, so I write this letter instead. It's from Frederick Fretland to his brother. Simon did not... Bloody hell. Simon did not murder your Ruth. He was fond of his cousin.
Ruth. Ruth is the daughter of Anna and Johann, which means the little girl in the photograph at the farmhouse. Oh, Edward. The Fretland girl was murdered. This is simply awful.
Simon was working at the farm while I tended to the store. I would have seen him had he passed on the way up to the cliffs.
They thought Simon killed Ruth. His own cousin.
Ruth was... what's that word? Playing. Ruth was always playing on the rocks below the church. She must have fallen by accident. The note ends there. Frederick never finished it. And Johann never read it. Not that it would have made a difference. If Johann
The
thought...
mob showed up for Simon. His father would have tried to protect him.
September 17th. You would have been here, Betty.
Rocks below the church. Isn't the church right above us? Edward, come look at this. That's the cliff. Right there. The one in the note? I bet you 1,000,000 clams.
Where?
See for yourself.
I guess that could be where...
Let's check it out.
No, Lissy, wait.
This way! I found it, Teddy. The cliff. I'm standing right below it.
What are you doing? This doesn't concern
The
us.
little girl died.
We're staying in her home, for God's sake. Are you completely without heart? Get yourself up here, Edward Harden, right this minute. Come on, it's an easy climb.
This looks very dangerous.
Oh, you're a big boy. Start acting like it. It's not Mount Everest.
I don't know. Whoops-a-daisy. What is this?
Where little Ruth died.
You're being morbid. And this is a distraction. I'm here for Betty, not because some girl got
Edward!
herself...
You insensitive brute. You're like the Tin Woodman, no heart. You know, you've grown cold. Please look at me when I'm talking to you. You know, you've grown cold and mean in that horrid study of yours. With only books and bugs to keep you company for years and years and years. There are other people in this world, you know. It's not all about you. You're going to do this. If not for Ruth, then for us. We're going to figure out what happened to the poor girl. Together.
That's been here a while.
Didn't you say it happened over a month ago?
You'd think her family would have replaced it with fresh flowers.
Is that blood?
The girl could have hit her head on that rock. There would have been plenty of blood.
That's awful. I think there's something behind it. Can you move the rock aside? It must be Ruth's.
Where's the head?
Maybe the killer also decapitates dolls.
Hold on. This pin. This is old. Very old. Looks like something from the Viking era.
We are in the land of Vikings.
This could be 1,000 years old. It does not belong in a child's doll.
Who cares? Ruth is dead and you're obsessing about a rusty old pin? Let's go further up. Maybe we'll find more clues. Come on, old sport. It's not far.
Can you wait just 1 minute so that I can catch my breath? Huh? Did you follow the same path, Betty? Or am I just stumbling through darkness?
You can see clear beyond the edge of the world. You're right. It is awfully chilly.
One
Oh,
second.
Teddy Bear. We need to take you out walking more often.
So, the girl fell from up here.
Was pushed, you mean? Can you see where she fell?
If she fell headfirst on that rock, she'd have died instantly.
Edward, honestly.
You wanted to learn more. This is you learning more. She hit her head and fell into the bush where I found her doll. Happy now, Alice?
I'm not. What was she doing up here in the first place?
Playing? She was a child. Children play in dangerous places.
There must be more to it. Let's find out where this path leads.
No, absolutely not. I don't have time for this nonsense. We're running out of daylight, and Betty's still... You're still out there. Lissy, slow down. I can't keep up with you. Who knows what's up there? It's not worth the risk of falling and breaking something. Lissy? Are you there?
Teddy,
My word. Look away, Lissy.
is this what happened to the villagers? They killed themselves?
It's one body. Let's not jump to conclusions.
What about those fresh graves at the church? There were at least half a dozen of them. Did everyone just die?
They're not necessarily
Oh,
connected.
come on. This is just ghastly. What made him do this? How long has he been?
From the state of the body, perhaps a couple of weeks. Depends on temperature and humidity, of course.
What does that say?
God forgive me.
Don't suicides go to hell? Isn't that what your father said when
Stop.
your mother drowned
Don't.
herself? Sorry. Who was he? One of the Fretlanders?
It's not Johann or Frederick. And he's too old to be Simon.
Do you think this has something to do with Ruth? Maybe she came across the hanged man before she died, and it scared her. So she ran, and
This happened later.
there's some consolation in that, I guess. Maybe it's the killer. The guilt ate him up, and he offed himself.
That's just speculation with no basis in fact. There's nothing more to do here. I'm going back. Let the poor soul rest in peace.
Does it look like he's resting in peace? You're just going to leave him hanging? You're an insensitive brute.
I'm here for Betty. It's tragic, but really none of my concern.
Betty, Betty, Betty. Always just Betty. You don't care about anyone else. What if that was me up there? Would you care then? All you do is obsess over a scarf and a hat and ugh.
It's all I have of Betty.
Betty, there she is again. Edward, the hanged man, he's someone. No matter what he did or didn't do, he deserves respect. Would you please just do this one decent deed? If not for me, then for yourself. Or for your Betty. What are you doing? You can't just pull him down by his legs. Try loosening the noose.
I can't reach that far. I'm going to be sick. I can't do this.
Yes, you can. Teddy. Edward. I know you can. You've been through much worse.